love and relationships are nothing if not messy. The Big Sick. Here we go. The Big Sick is a new romantic comedy written and starring Kumail Nanjiani and directed by Judd Apatow. The Big Sick is actually based on a true story of a stand-up comedian who's working to make his way, he's kind of grinding his way through, i.e. Kumail Nanjiani. And one night he meets this sweet young lady named Emily, played by Zoe Kazan. They start dating, sort of. They're kind of in that early awkward phase where they're trying not to quite define, are we together? Are we not? Are we labeling this? Are we not? Have you told your parents yet? Kind of that new relationship awesomeness that happens. They kind of have this blowout fight.
Pakistan's next top model.
You know how we have arranged marriage in my culture?
Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Can you imagine a world in which we end up together?
I don't know.
And shortly after this fight, Kumail finds out that Emily is hospitalized with some bizarre infection. She needs to be put into a medically induced coma while the doctors try to find out what's going on with Emily. It's really not as convoluted as I'm making it sound. Basically, his girlfriend is in a coma. There you go. Emily's parents, played by Holly Hunter and Ray Romano, show up at the hospital. Kumail's there. So we had this story that really kind of centers on the relationship between Kumail and Emily's parents. Kumail and Emily's parents are learning about each other while they're waiting for her to come out of her coma. A story that's closer to a dramedy than a romantic comedy. A mix of While You Were Sleeping and Meet the Parents kind of going on at the same time. So we have an A story and a B story. We're done, right? Nope. There's actually a whole third slice to this trifecta, and it's a big one. And that is Kumail's family. Kumail and his family are Pakistani. I believe he actually points out that they're Muslim Pakistani, or Pakistani Muslim. So traditions, family, values, it's all very, very important to everybody. Arranged marriages are still very traditional, and they're very much part of his family dynamic. Kumail and his family get together about once a week, they have dinner, and inexplicably a young lady always shows up that just happened to drop by. So Kumail's mother has been setting up for these women to be coming over so he can try to find a wife. Kumail is kind of at a crossroads with adhering to the cultural traditions, including arranged marriages. So he's more or less kept Emily a secret from his family, fearing their reaction. Well, at one point he does tell his brother, who basically freaks out.
I've been dating this girl. She's white.
A white girl? Hey, you can't look like you and yell white girl.
No, it's okay. We hate terrorists.
So if his brother's reaction is any indication of what the rest of his family would do, I can understand his trepidation with telling everybody. So yeah, a lot of moving pieces to this story. But I will say a story that works surprisingly well. Surprising sounds like I thought it was gonna suck. I didn't think that, I just wasn't sure what to expect. Let's talk about the cast for a second. So Kumail Nanjiani, if you haven't heard of him, like I said, you're gonna. He's playing himself in the movie because this actually happened. Now maybe not every detail, but this whole situation happened to him. Kumail is just an exceedingly likable character. He seems like a really likable person in interviews. If he looks familiar, but you can't place him, he's on HBO's Silicon Valley. I looked him up on IMDb, and he's actually done an insane amount of projects, most of them since 2013. Seriously, I looked him up and was just scrolling. He's done a lot. Kumail's style and his stand-up, and also in this movie, kind of this mix of cultural and dry and absurdist humor all wound up together.
So, 9/11. I've always wanted to have a conversation with people.
You've never talked to people about 9/11?
It's a really cool mix that's unique to him. And all of those aspects were threaded throughout the script, and it worked. The movie just sets up a lot of awkwardness that as a viewer can throw you off center. Jokes will come at you and just hit you in a very unique way. But all the jokes and all the awkwardness still fueled the movie. It still fit. They weren't just thrown on top of everything. Like I said, Ray Romano and Holly Hunter play the parents that Kumail's trying to get to know. And those two really stole this movie as far as I'm concerned. I know it's about Kumail and Emily, but Ray Romano, Holly Hunter, who knew? Now, Holly Hunter, I haven't seen in a while, but watching her personality in this movie was like a lit fuse that just never quite blew up at the end. But it's running on high the whole time. And understandably so. Her daughter's in a coma. There's this boyfriend or ex-boyfriend who won't go away. She doesn't really know them, so yeah, she's kind of stressed. But I'll tell you, Holly Hunter in this movie is the kind of mom you want on your side. You really get that this woman will come to blows to protect the people that she loves. Shifting gears really quick, I want to talk about Ray Romano. I never really liked Ray Romano. I never liked his show, and it was on. I never thought he was that funny. But he played this very real, very comforting, just trying to be the best father that he can be kind of role, and it was perfect.
You have a play, you can't rhyme it, you try to find a word that nobody can rhyme.
Okay.
And that
Stonehenge.
Yeah, see, you would win.
He really made me like him. He's like the dad you want to have because he loves you and he wants the best for you, and he's always gonna be there for you, and he's just so damn likable. And I actually laughed at him a lot in this movie, maybe because he had that kind of dad dry humor, but it worked for this movie. Now, Kumail's mom in this movie, who I'm not gonna try to pronounce her name because I'm gonna butcher it, but I'm gonna throw up a photo right there. There she is. She kind of acts as the filter for those of us who may not know a lot about the culture. She kind of tells us and shows us what a lot of that is, but in a very stern, motherly way that we can all understand. Mom, if you're watching this, I don't think you're stern. I think you're awesome. Love you. She had all of the mom tropes of kind of digging at her son about his lack of having a wife and his career choice. But more importantly, you really get how Kumail's choice to kind of stray from the traditions is affecting her and affects the family. Seeing what they put in there about the cultural impact from the other side was something you just don't see in movies much. And I'm sorry to say, but you don't usually see a family dynamic such as this, a Muslim Pakistani family portrayed as a normal family, just with different traditions. So I did like seeing that. It was something I don't get to see. So that whole situation gave the movie a little more weight and made you feel like there was more at stake than just Kumail's love for Emily. So there's a lot of layers to this movie, a lot of moving parts, and there's the chance that trying to juggle all of these parts may have hindered the movie a little bit. I stress in saying that because as I go back and really try to think of what in the movie I could put my finger on that was unnecessary or trivial or just it wasn't needed, I really can't put anything and say, you know what, it would have made it better if they just got rid of that. The movie as a whole was well written, it was funny, the performances were good, had some peaks, had some valleys, but for the most part, it just stayed in an enjoyable, safe middle of the road. And here's the thing, I'm okay with that. Was this an Oscar caliber film that broke ground with its cultural impact? No. But was it an enjoyable comedy or dramedy that centers around awkwardness and social and cultural differences with good performances? Yes. So I'm gonna give The Big Sick a rating of Netflix it. Kind of in that Netflix safe zone.
I don't really get that.
I know. I thought I could just start saying something and something small would come out.
But this is just my opinion. What I really want to know is what you think. So have you seen The Big Sick? Did you like it? Did you not? Do you agree with me? Do you not? Put it down in the comments. I really want to know what you think. If you like this review, feel free to watch my other reviews, or like this video, or subscribe, or share, or all four. So stay entertained until next time, and until next time, bye-bye.